It's 1:15:28, right?
Yes.
Sutta uvacha evam chintayato Jishnu Krishna pada suroruham sauhadena tigadena stanta shid vimala matihi. Translation. Right, translation. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shuddha Goswami said, thus, being deeply absorbed in thinking of the instructions of the Lord, which were imparted in the great intimacy of friendship, and in thinking of his lotus feet, Arjun's mind became pacified and free from all material contamination.
Purport. Since the Lord is absolute, deep meditation upon Him is as good as yogic trance. The Lord is non-different from His name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, and specific action. Arjuna began to think of the Lord's instruction to him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Only those instructions began to eliminate the things of material contamination in the mind of Arjuna. The Lord is like the sun. The sun's appearance means immediate dissipation of darkness or ignorance, and the Lord's appearance within the mind of the devotee can at once drive away the miserable material effects. Lord Chaitanya has therefore recommended constant chanting of the name of the Lord for protection from all contamination of the material world. The feeling of separation from the Lord is undoubtedly painful to the devotee, but because it is in connection with the Lord, it has a specific transcendental effect which pacifies the heart. Feelings of separation are also source of transcendental bliss, and they are never comparable to contaminated material feeling of separation.
Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So there's one question that we can start with. I mean, we already started, but one question that I want to ask you: if someone had to suffer, right, in separation, or Krishna's putting us through test, and we're going through anxiety anyway, what is the point of practicing bhakti? I would have been just happy, like, it's better to be a materialist, cry in my Lamborghini, than, being a monk like Monil, or anyone like the Damayanti. Like, why do I have to, like, focus so much? What kind of bliss is this providing me? What is in there for me? Anyone? Yes, Nitai.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna doesn't say that all the suffering will disappear. He says that one needs to learn how to become equipoised in happiness or distress. So the point is not that all of our distress will disappear, it's that we can learn how to be well adjusted no matter our circumstances.
Right, very beautiful. Thank you, Nitai. Yes, Krishna puts us into some difficult situations. There was one very nice thing. One time a devotee said that, I can't recall who said this thing, but I think I just remember what the devotee said. And he or she said that, Krishna just gives us that trailer of what we deserve. Like, let's say someone deserved their head to be chopped off, but that devotee, while shaving in the morning, just gets a cut, simple cut. We don't know what could have been worse, right? So Krishna, and also there is my friend here, Ratikeli. One day I was just feeling too much separation from you all. I'm just joking, I'm having the best time of my life here. So one day I was actually feeling some separation from you all, and I was feeling a little emotional, and my friend Ratikeli said that, maybe there are some more lessons that Krishna has to teach you, And until and unless you're done with your homework, this tutor not going to let you go. And that was, and there are some teachers like this, right? Like before you finish writing this thing from the board, you're not leaving the class. So there are, Krishna does those kind of things. So there's always something more deeper in the suffering. So this entire, I'll just maybe give a little synopsis of this canto. I've been following the classes given by such wonderful devotees. Recently, Padmana and Prabhu spoke on the same canto, and and many other devotees. So I really like S.P. Keshwa Maharaj. He gives a very nice, acronym for this canto, and he calls it a SLAP. Right? SLAP means that you get from Jivadoya if you don't show up for morning program or services in the ashram. So for SLAP, because this entire canto, it starts with like awakening mood that have sometimes, doesn't it happen like you're so complacent and you're just wondering and you're complaining about irrelevant things and you're just being and then there's one person, one friend, one mentor who just like shakes you up, either in good way, bad way, and then you just wake up, oh yes, I need to move on with my bhakti and I need to be sincere. This is the same thing. So first part of the chapter, which are I think 1 to 5 or 1 to 6, they talk about Srimad Bhagavatam. Then next part is talking about love of Uttara, love of Arjuna, love of Bhishma Dev, love of Hastinapur residents, love of Dwarka residents, right? Like that. So that is chapter 7 onwards. Then we come on to this part of attaining absolute, where there is description of the very important personality, which is Parikshit Maharaj. And it's a very interesting part, like his appearance is discussed in this canto and his disappearance is also kind of is into the picture. His disappearance, like 7 days before his disappearance, is because why Bhagavatam is being discussed. And at the same time, his appearance is discussed how Krishna shows up in the womb of Uttara and takes care, protects him. Then at the same time, there is a little bit of description of how different devotees are attaining absolute in different ways. Like Dhritarashtra, who is being very blind, not just physically, but spiritually also, attains absolute. He follows the command of Vidura finally and renounces everything. And within 5 days of his renunciation, he just goes back to Godhead and his wife follows him. So like this, now chapter 14 and 15 are the most painful part of Bhagavatam. They're actually very painful for a lot of devotees, because even though, like, especially for us, because we're not very elevated devotees, we can just keep saying, like we can keep listening to all these nice classes, a body doesn't die. Sorry, a soul doesn't die. It's just a body. Oh, when someone dies, you feel it, because we don't have that, understanding. Now, this chapter is about the disappearance of the Lord whom we are worshipping. Of course, we've not seen him. We have so much love for him. We are trying our best to serve him. We're waking up for morning program. We're doing his services. We're tolerating Viśākhā. Like what all austerities I'm observing to, express my love to this Lord. But still, there is, like when you read the descriptions, it's really like it just does something to you. Like it just depresses you. Like, there is, I'm not sure if in the previous classes this was discussed, right? Like there is, when Arjuna is visiting Dwarka, Yudhishthir in Hastinapur is experiencing bad omens, he's noticing some animals crying, color of the sky and birds, making some movement, etc., etc. And then he realizes something is off. And then he gets to know, oh, Krishna has kind of like left the world, and Arjuna confirms that. And hearing this news, everyone gets onto their job, where that is, what is their job? What is their eternal job? Devotional service. So then slowly, after Krishna disappears and Kunti Maharani is also like, getting absorbed in devotional service, and so is Subhadra, and so is, Vidura, and many other devotees, they follow along. And this particular verse that we read is actually when Arjuna is just about to also disappear. And he's trying to absorb himself in the instructions of Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, meaning Bhagavad Gita. He's actually trying to get absorbed. Now, the funny part is that even though this canto, even though this canto is not, even though this chapter is talking so much about this separation, the theme of the chapter is not at all about how you feel when Krishna disappears. It's actually about what you do, how you want to leave your body, what decisions are you going to make, that in what ways are you going to leave the body. Okay, has anyone ever thought how they want to leave their body? It's a very it's not an inappropriate question. Yes, Damayanti, you gonna leave your body by sorry? Can
I
you
thought
tell me?
you were saying like, has anybody thought about it? So I just said yes.
Yes, you want to share? I mean, it's okay if you don't want to share.
Sometimes when we do kirtan, in some kirtans, the crescendo reaches a level where you feel like this would be the right time to leave your body. So in that moment, I feel like that.
Oh, wow. I have that feeling when I have prasadam. And just recently I had this, I can relate with, there is a hype where something reaches and you're just like, oh, now it's like, I can't, I think I've lost all material attachment. All I want is the lotus feet of the Lord. I went to Rajapur temple and I made something for Jagannath. And after I came back, I went to my friend's place. And there is something I'm very controlled on my portions and, trying my best. So everything is fine. But every time I go to Jagannath temple and, whenever I cook something for Jagannath and bring that back, there is overeating to next level. And I don't know how much I ate that I actually was lying down on the floor under the picture of Rajapur Jagannath. And I thought, today is the day that Viśākhā going to leave the body. But can there be any other funny reason that, maybe devotees would be discussing? She died out of honoring poha. Just, on 3 plates of poha, 4 plates of poha, whatever. But at that moment, it did feel like, what, I have no attachments. I don't want anything. I just want Jagannath right now, and then half an hour later, 1 hour later, got digested. Then I was like, where is more? I want more prasadam. So yeah, I want to actually leave my body honoring prasadam. It would be very nice. It's just like the best death. Anyone else? Okay. If you haven't thought about it, then this is your homework. You should think about it. The whole chapter is about what you do. What is the basic lesson is, one who remembers the Lord at the time of death gets united with the Lord. All right. So now it's very important that we keep our consciousness very protected. If you might have scrolled sometimes, so Viśākhā Prabhu is making very nice videos. There are 3 devotees who just always pop up in my feed. One is Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, another is S.B. Keshav Maharaj's video, and another is Viśākhā Prabhu's video. And Viśākhā Prabhu's video is just like he just starts with he's talking to you. And in most of his videos, there is a continuous emphasis on sound vibration. What am I hearing? What am I hearing? This continuous emphasis. And, I've been noting this, yes, yes, we have to chant. But then actually when I paid attention to it, it made so much sense. But I don't know if this happens to you all. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, even though I've done everything right a day before, or even before that, or a week before, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking of the most irrelevant, outdated Bollywood song that I heard in second grade or I was obsessed with. I don't know if you all, if this happens to you, or maybe I'm that fallen conditioned soul. So out of nowhere, and that song was neither a hit or nothing, but it is just there in my consciousness. And I'm surprised that while brushing my teeth, I'm thinking about this. Like that melody is in my head, and I'm thinking about that song. Or maybe sometimes, I'm just actually stuck on what that classmate of mine told me. In the seventh grade, she chose to sit with another person and not me. Like I'm still stuck there, right? So this is what Vaisheshika Prabhu is continuously emphasizing on, like whatever you actually feed your mind, it actually starts getting stored. Just today, there was a very nice brahmachari from brahmachari and a sannyasi, like they're divorced, and they're from Radhakund, and he was explaining that actually inside the heart there is a box, and there is a name of this box even in the scriptures, and in the biological structure also, like there is some name of this box. So every time, this is like a memory chip. So every time we keep saying something, it gets stored. So if I say Shanshi is bad, so it gets stored, Shanshi is bad, Shanshi is bad. If I say Krishna loves me, it just gets stored. It just gets stored. So it just depends upon what you are going to feed yourself, right? So whatever you're going to feed yourself will actually show up. And this is also in Bhagavad Gita, that at the time of death, the mind actually just closes down and goes and sits and gets locked inside the heart. And this carries with you next time in your next life. So it's very, very, very important that, we are super careful about this. Death is a very uncomfortable topic to speak about. Try discussing this with your parents or family members and see how enthusiastic they'll get, hearing, oh, wow, my child is thinking about the death. This is so amazing, right? No, they won't like it because they just don't appreciate this topic at all. And it's same thing with us. If someone comes, any one of you decides to show up in a check-in with this topic, Viśākhā, can I have a check-in with you? Okay, what do you want to discuss? I want to talk about my death. And I would be so uncomfortable because this topic is discomforting. But actually, it is not discomforting. It is not, it is actually preparing you for the ultimate thing, right? Because, some wise person, I don't know who is this wise person, but someone said that in Krishna consciousness, the life is actually the preparation time. And death is an exam. And you don't want to fail that exam with anything. So it's best to keep forgiving people. It's best to just hold no grudges. It is best to remain humble and do everything possible to prepare yourself for that particular one moment. And you can decide. So there's another beautiful thing. See, whatever you have and whatever I have. When I was in fashion school, as you know, that I did my bachelor's in designing, and you're very obsessed. In fashion college, you get addressed the way you dress. Okay, so you're always very beautiful and gorgeous looking. Everyone, you have to be like that. That is the career. So and that was also the peak time of my youth. And one thing I would just notice, I did not like my nose. This was, and then I realized that later, I have so many issues with my nose, and someone has issues with their complexion, someone has issues with their body, someone has issues with their parents and family and life and country and government. So this is never ending. So wherever you are, wherever we all are, is based on our karma, right? Whoever is in whichever body, whatever is happening is as per your own karma. We can change that because this happened in the past. But right now, you have and I have the power to rewrite the story and decide how this story gonna end. I would love if my story gonna end. Oh, I cooked prasadam for so many people, and then I died eating it. After eating it, after honoring it. Sorry, but I'm just saying that, like, we all have that choice right now. And another beautiful part about this is that you don't have to do something that makes you very like, if you ask me, okay, in order to have a happy ending in your life, you have to be a maths graduate like your husband. I can't add 1 plus 1 sometimes, and my husband, like, will, like, 5, 6, 10 digits number, he'll just add up like anything. If someone says this is your only way back to Godhead, I'd be so depressed. I'd be like, oh my God, where are I gonna be, like, on Earth for how many years? Or maybe like lower planetary system, because I don't have qualities of demigods either. But then the beautiful thing about Krishna consciousness is that you need to just work on your authentic self, pray to the Lord to help you find your most, most relevant service for you, where you thrive, where you just can't wait to jump out of the bed every single day. You're supercharged, and that's your only way back to Godhead. Isn't that just so amazing? You wake up, you sing and dance. Guru Ashtakam in the morning. You don't feel like waking up, that's your problem. You have a very bad taste, but actually it's a party happening at ISKCON Toronto. Like, weird, like, imagine if a not like person who has nothing to do with spirituality comes and shows up. They'd be like, Hare Krishnas, they do party in the morning. Right? Like, you see, like, how Amala jumps Jai Jai Prabhupada. Like, it's like 7 a.m. Who has that energy? A lot of people are just waking up and they're having their, detox drink in the morning. They're half asleep. And here is Amala and Monil, everyone just jumping Jai Jai Prabhupada, or Maharaj making everyone, dance. So you see that this is actually a very blissful arrangement that we can choose. But the question is, can you slap yourself to stay awake in this matter? And can you actually decide what is that preparation of this exam that looks like? Right? So it's very important to have, like, how in corporate worlds you have like not corporate worlds, like in general, like people have like a 5-year plan. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? We all also need to have that 5-year plan. What is that thing that Viśākhā people says? What does that get measured? Huh?
What gets measured gets improved.
What gets measured gets improved, right? That would be very, very nice. And then in regards to this topic of debt, see, it's an inconvenient truth, but it is the truth. Is anyone in the room who's in denial, or who's just like, like, out of all the topics, this is something I don't want to discuss? Like, how would you feel if I invite you all to my home when I arrive and we discuss this topic? Can someone tell me? Ishan would like, Prabhu, I have to go, and it's my college meeting and assignments.
Yeah, I'll feel very uncomfortable. Like, I feel like, why am I even here? Like, why are we talking about
Yes.
this?
And why would you feel like that, Ishan?
Because it's kind of, no, first of all, nobody discusses this topic very often.
Yes.
Second of all, it's a very uncomfortable moment because you're talking about the person leaving and not coming back again. So
Yes, absolutely. And because it's an inconvenient truth. And we are actually very conditioned to think this way, that, that this is the end, but this is actually not the end. For devotees, this is the beginning. The party is just starting. There is like, when you give exam, I wouldn't say give exam. Okay, maybe it's like this preparation of yours actually decides if you're going to where are you going to enter now. Are you going to enter into some pastimes of the Lord? Are you going to enter into some other arrangements of the Lord? Are you going to enter wherever you're going to enter? It's very important, and that's an exam. So it's an inconvenient truth, and we should just keep trying. keep trying to not make it inconvenient. You know how many opportunities this meditation can bring you? And meditation upon the death can actually bring so many reflections. You can actually understand what is your priority. Parikshit Maharaj did the same. A flying snake bit him, and he had 7 days left. Is it like he had an opportunity to decide what is my priority? Now I'm telling you, you only have like another 50, 60 years to live. So what should be your priority in this time? Wow, it's so nice. My girls are like, making notes, and boys are just like wondering what is this women talking on the screen. I'm just saying it's just very nice. Like, it's always so nice to see Subhadra. Okay, Rohan and Rahul, don't get offended. So it's just so nice to see the Subhadra and Damayanti like together. They're like twins. They're holding the pen in the same way, and say the head is tilted in the same
They
way.
are drawing.
They're drawing. No, Monil does that. But Monil does that. Whenever I'm talking, he's the one who makes drawing. Anyway, so death allows us to have this opportunity of finding the priority. What is the priority? Can anyone tell me 2 things that is their priority right now? See, you're taking time to think because it's not deeply reflected upon. So it's a very important. Did someone have to say anything? Yes, Neeta, please go ahead.
I want to be happy in my life. That is
Okay.
a priority for me.
Okay, which is great. So Nitai wants to be happy. This is her priority. Now she would start thinking, she'll put that on a whiteboard. And now she will understand that where am I right now? How happy or unhappy I am. And she can actually draw a plan. Okay, in order to be happy that I want to be, what do I need to do? So it allows us to find our priorities. Okay. Second thing is it allows us to also understand how urgent the situation is. So, for example, someone's plan is to go back to Godhead. This is their death meditation. I'm so done. If I take another birth, they're gonna put me in Bhakti Academy again, attending morning program, and only Monday, Tuesday off, and doing is Jiva Doyas after my life to put the groceries in the kitchen, and I want to take a nap, and then all these issues could haunt you, and you're like, no, I'm gonna go back to Godhead in this lifetime, and so at that time you'll think like, okay, someone tells you that, okay, you can go back to Godhead only by chanting maybe, I don't know, like 10 lakh round and reading all Prabhupada books. For example, this is just an example. And now think about it. Oh my God, Prabhupada books and all the books. And then at the same 10 lakh rounds. Oh my God, I need to do this now. So it just creates an urgency. There is fire in the house. It creates a feeling of urgency. Third thing is that it does make you humble. It does make you humble, isn't it? Like if you think about it, that I just say that, for example, Monil and I are having argument that, that painting behind Monil will be there. He's saying it should be there. I'm saying, no, it should be on the right side where Nitai is sitting. And Monil and I are just like, fighting. But if I'm humble, I'd be like, oh, Prabhu, you can put it there. World anyway gonna annihilate. You and I anyway gonna die. So it's okay, right? It does bring you humility. Right? Why I have to put Subhadra down just because she made a mistake? I'm gonna teach Subhadra who is she. I'm gonna put her in her place. But then, doesn't it make you humble to think like I'm gonna add on some karma in mistreating her? And I may actually gather some bad karma, and those karmas may have a weight. My pride may just distract me from my japa. So it just allows you to be humble as well. If your death meditation also brings you clarity. Clarity of what? Like, what is my priority? Do I want to be, like, it gives you clarity. Do I want to be in Grihastha ashram and serve Krishna? Do I want to be a brahmachari and serve Krishna? What do I want to be a grihastha for some time and then vanaprastha? Like, you just don't know as of now, but it does bring you clarity that, okay, I need to do this and what exactly, like, is needed to be there. It brings you clarity for your own emotional needs that we don't talk about. It brings you clarity of your all other needs, all other, people who are around you, their needs. It's so important. It also brings inner immunity. Have you heard this? Like, there's a very funny thing in Bollywood to say that man is a darnega nahi, meaning like no one should be afraid of death. And I find this super funny, but like it's really like, so nice. Like, you actually get that inner immunity. And there is some like, thug or like, some thief who comes into the temple and Shringar Arati is going on and he puts a gun on you and is like, Jivadaya, give me all the gold that the temple has, all the Lakshmi. And Jivadaya is like, I will not give you anything, but please feel free to kill me so that, history can be written. Jivadaya died on duty during Darshanarti. And I definitely go back to Godhead because Damayanti is singing and the kirtan is on, right? So it's like and the goon and the thug and the thief is just like so confused. What the hell is happening here? Like, why is he not shivering, In his experience, people have been shivering. So death meditation actually brings us that clarity. I'll just conclude with one more last point that Srila Prabhupada one time told his disciple a very beautiful thing. And you can just write it somewhere and put it on a paper, like put it near your desk or something. It's very nice. It actually allows you to get detached from the world. They say that he said that this world is like a toilet. Do your business and get out from here. Isn't that so nice? No matter how nice your washroom is, like, let's say I renovated my washroom and my husband renovated our washroom and, we're trying to buy the best sink, best tap, best shower head. But still, we would only like to go there if we are like, we're wanting to, evacuate or we're actually taking shower. I'm not going to hang out there and, have a check-in with any devotee. Or I don't think I'm going to sit there and enjoy pizza. So none of that is happening. So I need to get out, no matter how comfortable I make and how nice I make it. It's very important that we have that understanding, right? And so please meditate upon, what is your purpose? What is that business? What is that purpose? And what is your devotional service looks like to you? Something that you would do, something that will decide where you want to be in your next life. Isn't it? If you're born in India, I don't know, maybe here also, I've heard like maybe some families, they encourage their children to be very academic and scholarly. And, like in India, I had this pressure from my school all the time, when I was in 9th grade, the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, this decides your life, your career. Boo, boo, boo. And all these so much pressure. And in 10th and 12th, like they almost like, killed me. With all and I don't know where am I using all that in my life. I really don't know where am I using. But anyway, that pressure, as per them, was deciding my life. However, in devotee's life, your preparation right now decides where you're going to end up. It's a placement, right? You study in a university or a college for 4 years, 5 years, and then you get placed somewhere, right? There is one person who comes to interview you, or like there is a panel, or whatever happens, or you get internship. Everyone have different ways. Someone may go back to Godhead with the mercy of the guru or devotees, and someone may go back to Godhead because of their own advancement, and of course, mercy of Guru and Krishna. And everyone have like different ways. So please see what is your purpose. Staying back is not fun. And it would be worse if I'm also here than you and I in the beautiful world. And I'm sure you don't want to see me in the next life. So with this, I conclude. It was so nice seeing you all, talking to you all. I don't know, Monil, you can guide me. I don't know what the time is, and I can barely see the clock on the wall. If we have time for any Q&A or anyone would like to add anything. Okay, Monil says thumbs up. So anyone would like to add anything? How comfortable, uncomfortable were you? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the class. Uh, I actually have a question.
Yes, please.
So, I remember when you were talking about that box in heart where we store every memory just by speaking about it once. So, the question is how to not store things in heart box. It's like not even repeating those things again and again just by thinking about them once. Like suddenly a devotee did something and it pierced my mind all of a sudden. And
Yeah,
I just thought about it once and then it's like, no, 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 I don't want to think about it. It's going to ruin me. At the
right.
same time, I'm again starting to think about it. I'm trying not to. But by
Mm,
trying not to, I'm thinking about it. How not to think about it? That's what
right.
I'm thinking.
So there are two
I-
things here. These are like little different from each other. One thing is that if something gets stored in our heart, like I never intended to store that Bollywood stuff that I mentioned in my heart, but I was a kid. Maybe we went to watch a movie. I never imagined myself storing that. But this is where Cheto Darpan Marjana, the first verse of Shikshashtakam comes in place. You chant the holy name and eventually everything gets cleaned, right? It's a process. And at the same time, Rukmini Walker Prabhu, when she was giving a class, if you remember, she gave an example. There are two dogs. One you feed, like, prashadam to one dog, and then another dog, you just make that dog starve. And if you put them into fight, who will win? The one with the one who actually had prashadam, right? So, so make sure, like, how do I explain? Let's say this is bottle, right? This is water. So if there is a little bit of something in it, maybe like, I don't know, sugar, concentrated sugar or something. If I keep adding water and water and water and water to it, actually the sugar would get dissolved. Like you wouldn't actually taste the sugar. It would only be water, right? So you don't have to worry about what is already done. Now, the second scenario that you're talking about is if you're, let's say, I'm just imagining, let's say there is an offense, like you're offended by someone, or someone is offended by you. The worst thing that we can actually do is by ignoring it. We should not ignore it. If you're feeling something, we should definitely journal out our emotions. How are we feeling about it? What exactly happened? And you can do it with very simple prompts that you can, I mean, I have a journal which is known as processing journal. Anytime I go through some difficult situation where I did not like how a certain devotee behaved with me, or where I feel like I could have behaved in a better way, I journal out this thing. And processing journal is just allows you to go, see what happened, what was the other party's intention, what was my intention, what were the lessons for me, and then what are my feedbacks for that person. And then always go back and communicate. And how do you communicate? Like, let's say I had a fight with Damyanti, and Damyanti, I showed up, I went to her on her birthday, got her a gift, but she did not bring me a gift. Instead, she bought it from that Lakshmi, she got a ticket for, Janvi Harrison's concert. So I'm like, I'm feeling that Damyanti is a selfish woman. So I don't go back to her and I don't, Damyanti, you are selfish. Because Damyanti is not selfish, right? But I communicate in the most non-violent way using iMessage. And iMessage is, Damyanti, when you did not show up on my birthday, and instead you choose to go to a concert, I felt that you were selfish. I am feeling it. She cannot deny my feeling, what I'm feeling inside. But she also understands that part that I am feeling it. She's not accusing me. So and this can be a little difficult task for men in general, because they're very super rational and logical people. So that's why journaling out may help. But when you leave things under the rug, now imagine you're in a living room, it's very nice, and some guest is about to show up, and then you put something under the rug, some garbage, you leave it under the rug. Vishesh had a sandwich, half eaten sandwich, you put it under the rug. Then, Ishan had, like, half drunk, like he had this bubbly can that he drank half, you put it under the rug. What will happen to the rug in 1 week? In 1 week, it would stink, right? It would stink. it was super unhealthy, super unhygienic. So why can't we just resolve it, right where it hurts? And being honest, if you can stay committed to expressing yourself in a non-violent way, accepting your own mistake, it will actually not get stored in your heart. It won't get stored in your heart. And some people are just weird. They're weird. Like, what to do? You can't. I mean, you can't just do too much about it. So does this help, Rahul?
It does. It does.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any last points? Last comments? Yes, Rohan, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving Bhagavatam class after such a long time. My question is, like, if we think about like how we'll die, about death, because that is very unpredictable, and so is our when we think about that. So we think about our next life also and previous life, because that is also unpredictable, and we can't think about that right now, because sometimes in Bhagavatam also Shukdev Goswami mentions that this devotee was this in his previous next life, and he was doing this such things. And also in nowadays we also think like how this devotee would be in previous life, like that. So should we think about that also
Yeah,
while
I
thinking
think
about that?
as a devotee, your next life, like your goal should be, my next life is to be with Krishna, to serve him, right? So if you're making a garland, this is your service in the temple. There is nothing wrong in like thinking that, oh my God, one day I'm gonna actually make it for Gopinath. I mean, here and then, in that world where Gopinath will actually talk to me. I mean, Gopinath will talk to you here also. There's nothing wrong. But yeah, if you like but this can be a little distracting, but like, yeah, you can just have that at the back of your mind, maybe that I can't wait to be a servant of Krishna. I can't wait, because the thing is, once you cross that, see, if you think about it, I'm moving from Toronto to Vancouver today. You have to think about a lot of things. Where I'm going to stay, how my life going to be. You will have to control a lot of decisions. But when it comes to spiritual life, you don't have to think actually too much, because Krishna going to take control of everything. You're just thinking, I can't wait for Krishna's command. He'll ask me to become a tree, I'll become a tree. He'll ask me to dance, I'll dance. He'll ask me to be an apple, I'll become an apple. He'll ask me to, whatever he'll ask me, I'll just do that. He'll ask me, okay, now go and start Bhakti Academy in I don't know where, but I will do that. Whatever Krishna may ask me, I'll just do that. So your excitement should be like, I can't wait to be controlled, like, by my Lord. I can't wait to be with such a person. So this is where like a little bit of materialistic conditioning, it gets into thing like, I need to do something. I need to decide how my next life going to look like. Right? But our exam is just like getting placed. Where we are getting placed, Krishna will take care of that part. Does this make sense? All right. Is it time now, Mona? Is it time now, Mona?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhus. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Mahapade Govinde. Nama Brahmani Vaishnave. It's my prasadam time too. Shalpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwaso Nevijayate. Sharira Vidya Jal Jonindriya Tahikal. Jive Pele Visai Tar Madhya Jivayati.